Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your January 2019 love reading. If you are new, I am Princess India, and it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. If you're an old subscriber, hello, my friend, how are you? How's 2019 treating you so far? Good, I hope. Everything you need to know is in the description box below this video. And we're going to be taking a look at, I feel like I should do something with that. We're going to be taking a look at Sagittarius as well as your cross watcher. Okay. And we're going to pull an overall energy from the romance angels if cards stop popping out. But the first card is going to be for Sagittarius. The second card is going to be for your cross watcher. And then we're going to look at the energies between the two of you guys. So Spirit, give me clear and direct guidance for Sagittarius. And thank you, because you've been already giving it. I don't even got to ask no more. Goodness. Second card is for the cross watcher. Cross watcher, Sagittarius. Finances and career for the cross watcher. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. The two cards that fell out before we did all of this was trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith, and stay optimistic about your love life. Interesting. Set those here. Overall energy for Sagittarius is release your ex. I'm laughing not at you guys, but at her, because she looks like she's going through some things. Lord have mercy. Looks like she's doing some release work, burning a love letter and things of the sort. That's a really good way to release, BTW. If there's anything you ever want to release and you need like a tangible ritual to do so, is like write down whatever it is you want to let go of and set that mother on fire. The time has come to clear your energy. You could do a nice little flush, you know. Take a nice little sea salt bath, you know. Burn some stuff. Burn their stuff. Don't burn them, though. You go to jail. Ain't got time for that. You're a fire sign, but, you know, not going that far, you know. But then it's good to do a good little energy clearing, a little cord cutting and whatnot. A really quick and easy way to cut cords is to just work with Archangel Michael and ask him to cut all of the energetic cords that are tied to you. So if you're kind of like sitting in meditation and you just ask Archangel Michael to cut all of the energetic cords that are presently tied to you, and close your eyes and see them, and to send back all the negative energy that's being sent to you, or energetic ties that you have to anyone, right? And just visualize him with his giant sword going around you and cutting all of those cords and all of that energy just being released from you. It's a good visualization exercise. And then you can follow that up by your little physical, tangible things, which would be, I don't know why Spirit is telling me to do it with all four elements. But you write down the things you want to release and you set them on fire, right? You take a cleansing bath with salt water. You could throw some crystals in there, daddy, too, but be careful and make sure that I would use polished stones for that, and ones you've cleansed already. I wouldn't like put something, you know, like this in your bath. You know, they're not very fond of water. You know, you could use, oh wait, I don't think my tiger's eye is up here. Oh yeah, we said that in the, that came out for Sagittarius. When I was doing the collective read, it was you guys working with tiger's eye. That's a crystal that came up for y'all. So, that would be something good to do. And then as far as like air is concerned, I don't know if you live in a city where there's a lot of wind, but the vision I got in reference to that is like anytime you feel a breeze, it's just kind of visualizing that breeze taking away any low vibrational energy or energetic ties that you have to anyone or anything, right? And then lastly, something that's really important when we talk about letting go of someone and releasing them, like it's like, oh, you know, I have trouble, somebody keeps popping up in my mind, blah, blah, blah. It's really the mental Olympics with that, because, you know, thoughts are suggestions. They're not anything that, you know, we have to think, but we have a tendency to think that. So it's more or less, if you look at yourself as a living, breathing, walking antenna that picks up frequencies, like, you know, that's what you are, so you're going to pick up frequencies. But the thing is like, you have the ability to choose whether or not you want to stay on a station. So even if an X keeps popping up in your thoughts, it's more or less training yourself to not meditate on the thoughts the same way that you would about your negative thoughts. So like the same exercises you would utilize if you were trying to stop negative thinking. Like if you know, are about to do something and the inner critic comes up and it's like, oh, you're not going to succeed, da-da-da-da-da. And then you choose to challenge those thoughts and to think about something else, like to tune your energy to something else. It's the same thing when it comes to consistently thinking about your ex repeatedly. Just because the thought rises up, or even if a person, if we want to go as far as saying if a person is, you know, meditating on you or trying to send you telepathic messages, it's just something as simple as saying, like, we're not doing this. You know what I'm saying? And channeling your energy towards something else. So listening to music, you know, going on a 3 a.m. Google binge search, you know what I'm saying? It's learning to distract yourself. And the more that you get accustomed to actively combating those thoughts, the easier that it gets. So just know that you have dominion over your thought space, and thoughts are suggestions. They're not requirements. Okay, Sagittarius. So, first card that we have for Sagittarius, just what I was talking about. The Nine of Swords. Staying up late at night, ruminating thoughts, you're trying to go to sleep, and you're thinking about your ex and all this other kind of stuff. Literally, dude, kill the demon. Everything that I just said is exactly how you do that. Like, it's not a magical, miraculous, you know, juju kind of thing. It's just needing to have self-control and personal responsibility. And it's very uncomfortable. It's annoying. I'm not going to lie to you. When I first tried to change my thought process, because it's so, you know, you're on autopilot with how you normally function. And when you're trying to shift how you function, it's painful because it's uncomfortable because it's taking you out of that reel that you're in. But if you truly want to stop thinking about your ex, even when it comes to dreaming about them, you can't necessarily stop what your subconscious mind is trying to process. But it's totally up to you what you choose to meditate on. And the thing that Spirit keeps telling me to drive home is the fact that you have control. You are not at the will of anything. You are not at the will of your thoughts. You have dominion over them. You just have to, you know, put on your big girl or big boy pants, you know, and decide to just not think about it. If you catch yourself, reattune to something else, but you can gain power over it. You feel what I'm saying? It's only a perception that, you know, like, I can't stop thinking about them, and why do they keep coming to my mind and communicating with me or whatever. We can't stop what other people do. We don't have control over what other people do, but you do have control over what you do, right? So regardless of what another person is doing, what you're held accountable for is how you respond to what everyone else is doing, and that's in any sense, right? So anywho, next card. We have the Queen of Swords, and then we have the Page of Pentacles. Very interesting. So, this is interesting. First and foremost, there is, how Spirit is showing this to me is, okay, that's why you had me saying all of that, is, okay, so there's a transition that's going on here. And or transformation that you went through, but it's a need for you to attune your thoughts to this energetic shift that has happened, and that changing of the mind is attuning you to the dominion. So all of the stuff that I said about you having control over your thoughts, and this came up in somebody else's reading, I think it was Libra, about your past experiences making you bitter or better. All of that is rooted in your overall perception about life. Because I don't know why this is coming up in your reading like this, but it's more or less a mindset. So if you have not watched the last reading that I did for the Dope Soul Collective for 2018, I would definitely go watch that, because I talk about that in great length about gaining dominion over your thoughts. But the whole thing is here is that this is something, you're in an energy that's in your highest good, but it's the fact that the mindset hasn't shifted, that you're still seeing yourself in submission to this situation and feeling as if you're at the will of it when you have dominion over it, right? So it's looking, and the whole purpose of this is for you to reframe your life in a different perspective, and that requires like a higher what is it that I'm looking for? It's not necessarily like belief system, but it's just like a higher objective view of things. And that higher view of things is, well, it is a belief system, really, because how it is that you're acting or showing up in life is rooted in what you believe about life, and there's a need to re-examine your belief about life, because the reason why you feel at the will of your experiences is based in your belief system about life. So the key is that it's time for you to release your ex, because your ex has served their purpose. They did what they were supposed to do. Everything that comes in your life is not coming in your life to hurt you and put you at the will of your experience. It's sandpaper to make you stronger and better, and to align you to your overall purpose, so to speak, right? So the whole key is looking at your past relationship as a training ground in which you were supposed to learn a very valuable lesson about yourself, and it was supposed to help you ascend to a wiser, more clear perception of yourself, and you being clear on what it is that you want and what you don't want, because a lot of times we have to experience what we don't want in order to know what it is that we want, right? So there's not really a need to hold on to this person's energy anymore because they serve their purpose. So it's kind of like at this point in the game, Spirit is saying in so many ways, it's like you're free and clear, but it's a lack of learning a lesson. You know what I mean? It's a lack of learning the lesson from the past experience, and you're carrying that with you into the future, and you don't have to. And that's kind of what's keeping you in this anxious kind of space, or in a head space, a great deal, right? So the moment that you guys kind of slay this little proverbial demon, it's going to give you a chance to change your mind and to start planting new seeds going forward. I want to pull more cards on this. And with those two cards that came out at first, what is it? Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith and stay optimistic about your love life. And I think it's because in so many ways, it's this false perception as if you've messed out on something, or thinking, oh, I'm never going to fall in love, blah, blah, blah. Should I have let this person go, and stuff like that. And Spirit is so much, like in so many ways, saying there's no need for you to do that. Because you being caught up in this mental space is what's blocking this new opportunity from coming in. But I'm not really so much worried about that, because I'm saying blocking it from coming in. But the way that I see all of this is kind of panning out in alignment, for you guys regardless. So I feel like you guys are going to slay the demon, and this opportunity is going to come in. And I feel like once this opportunity comes in, you're kind of going to be looking like, oh my God, why was I so even worried about this unnecessarily? But I'm going to pull a few more cards. Oh my gosh. My deck is like on some other stuff right now. But it's just really a need to balance out the energy, a little forgiveness and learning. Yes, Sagittarius. Once you balance this out and you learn what it is you have to learn and release your ex, it opens you up for this good old Ten of Cups energy. Little, emotional fulfillment going on here, because that situation was not fulfilling, and you know it. You might just be a little afraid because, like when you're single and stuff like that, things come up. Then we got the Three of Pentacles. So it's like what it is that you're stepping into is a desire for cooperation. I just think you have to get real with yourself about it. It's like this situation was, kind of out of alignment with you. And it was a lot of you, it was an unbalanced situation. You were putting in more than you were getting back and kind of carrying the burden alone. And it's a need to face the truth about that, you know? And with you moving forward with a Chariot, like that's what I say here about needing to gain this balance. You know what I'm saying? Balancing things out. So it's balancing things within so you can move forward. So the only thing that's holding you back right now is thinking that you missed out on something with this, but you didn't. It was a lesson. They served their purpose. And now it's time for you to align with what's really for you, which is going to be 1,000 times better than what you left behind. But the most important thing is to trust spirit in all of this and stay optimistic moving forward. You legit did not miss out on anything. And you guys might be moving towards a Cancer person. So you guys might have cooperation and reciprocity and things of the sort with a Cancer person. I'm just saying, dig, maybe son of a gun. Then making a little offer and things, trying to say, hey, Sagittarius, boo thing. Trying to ride our chariots into the sunset together and whatnot. Or whatever. But yeah, man, so that's legit what it is. It's just a need to come to a state of inner balance and to get self-discipline over your thought process. So it's just a clearing of a perspective, but it's unnecessary regret. It's legit something that, you just need to release. So it's just needing to get a clarity of mind, and once your mind gets clear, where you're going is a lot better than where you've been, Sagittarius. Now, on to your cross watcher. Their overall energy is finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So what's going on? Are they broke? Or are you broke? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. First card we have is the Two of Wands. Then we have the Ten of Wands. And then we have the King of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, so it's interesting. The energy between you guys is very similar. But I feel like your cross watcher was kind of overdoing it. You know what I'm saying? But they released the burdens. They were carrying a lot unnecessarily. So I feel like this person may have had a lot of jobs, like maybe working 2-3 jobs or something like that, because they were trying to get to a place of financial stability, but they realized that them overexerting themselves wasn't really getting them to where it was that they were trying to go. Because I feel like it's a dream or something that they're trying to build towards, but they spread themselves way too thin, and what they thought was going to give them the upper hand inadvertently overburdened them. And the thing that they're realizing now is that they need to harness their energy. So it's kind of like with Sagittarius, I say it's similar in essence in the fact that you guys are losing viable life force energy by feeding into a situation that's dead. And I hate to use this example, but it's kind of like if a person, has coded and you're still trying to give them CPR, or like beating a dead horse, like it's a done deal, but you're like refusing to let go, and you're trying to breathe viable life source into a situation that is literally decaying, so to speak. It's the same thing with them. It's like they were trying to get ahead, but them utilizing the wrong approach, they were wasting viable energy. And I feel like that became clear to the cross watcher. So now it's like they're holding on to just the passion and more or less relinquishing control to spirit in the sense of I'll move when spirit says move, right? So kind of like attuning to that sweet spot of universal flow. So it's like they're kind of regathering all of their energy that's been sent in all of these different directions, and they're getting very clear on how it is that they want to step forward, because they were blocked by overexerting themselves. So that's the essence I'm seeing that's alike in the two of you. It's just that they were overexerting in a myriad of different directions to get to a specific goal, like kind of trying to fast track it, but ended up, draining themselves in the process. And with Sagittarius, it was more of you losing life force because of all of these, spreading yourself too thin energetically, in the sense that you were trying to breathe life into a situation that wasn't for you anymore, because it was like done, dead type of deal, right? So it's making a decision for your cross watcher to move forward and not to be held back anymore. So it's like they're seeing this open landscape and these endless horizons of opportunities that they have, and understanding, like the King of Pentacles is not something that happens overnight. You know what I mean? So it's like both of you are coming to the reality and the truth about a situation, but this may be someone that you guys haven't met yet, because I'm more or less seeing this along the lines of, oh, I get it. Oh, this is nice. So this is more along the lines of like Spirit is preparing or has been preparing this person for you, and you've been preparing for them. So the whole thing is needing to come to this balance. So, and that's why I say it's not like you're going to miss the opportunity and not meet the person, so to speak. But it's more or less like this person is almost like an energetic preparation for you. So they're not where they need to be. So cross watcher, it's like you're still trying to get your finances and your career on track, but in the near future, it's like this is what you guys are looking at in so many words, but it's understanding the process. I don't want to say that you guys were trying to cheat the system like in a deceptive kind of way. It's just you were thinking of I guess the equivalent of like, I mean, not, and I'm saying this lightly because I'm not trying to say that you guys are being deceptive, but you know, when you think about like those get rich quick schemes, like somebody's like, oh, you know, you're unemployed. Like, hey, if you work for this company, you can make this amount of money just selling essential oils or something. I don't know. But it's like you guys were willing to put the work in, but you just figured that taking on more would get you there faster. But it's more or less a lesson in the fact that everything is a process. Things take time, and to take things step by step and to master your journey, and you guys will with the King of Pentacles, and you're going to build a solid foundation and abundance in a very real way. For others of you, there's a need. Oh, that's cute. Okay, for others of you, if this is a Sagittarius person that I don't know, if you do something like some type of professional thing, tax time is coming up. So if you do taxes, I feel like y'all are gonna meet each other because this person will come get their taxes done by you, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I see that big time. It's almost like one of those chance meeting type of things. And oh wow. That's interesting. I can't remember if that was y'all or if that was Capricorn. Which one of y'all? Was it Sagittarius that I said was dating a celebrity? Or was gonna meet a celebrity? I think that was y'all. I can't really remember right now. But that just popped up to me too. So I think that's like, okay, so I think that was Sagittarius. I hope and pray that it is. Because that's gonna move forward positively. And that's just a continuation for those people that I talked about. That's not for everybody, but if you know what I'm talking about, then you know this is actually gonna lead into a little something something. And then for those of you who did that past tense, it's time to let that ride out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I feel like with the whole professional thing, like it's something dealing with, like, I don't know, if they work at your bank, or they're your financial planner or something of the sort. I feel like that's how you guys will cross paths. But it's more or less like you're this person's like being prepared for you. Now for my couple people, I feel like money is putting a strain on your relationship. And I feel like it's really, well, I'm going to be real with you. It really could be just because of Christmas. I'm like on a very simplistic level type of deal, that there may be a little bit of confusion in the household right now because it's like you guys kind of coming down to earth. So there may have been something like my married people or my coupled, like settled people. There may be something you guys were trying to do moving forward, and I feel like it's something around an anniversary or something like that. And it may be something you guys were planning on for a while, but it's a fear now that that's not going to happen. And I feel it's kind of like Sagittarius is kind of stressing over the fact that they're going to have to disappoint their partner or spouse because it's something that they had planned to do that they're not going to be able to do because you spent a little too much money around Christmas time. But the thing is that something's going to come in either, I don't know, it could be taxes. It's either taxes or it's, what is it? Like an old paycheck or something like that from an old job or something. It's going to be something that's going to come in where you're still going to be able to do what it is that y'all were, planning on doing. So, but I feel like you're kind of losing sleep over there right now with this whole money deal. Like trying to figure out how am I going to tell them, like, we're not going to be able to go on this trip for our 10th anniversary on some stuff. So, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I see. I feel like it was something else I wanted to say. No, the rest of this is like all money stuff. It's like having couples and issues with money. But the whole message of that is that whatever it is y'all are worried about money-wise, it's like you're going to be fine. It's understandable to lose sleep over it, but I don't really, I'm going to start using the tarot sexual magic because for some reason, I don't know why so much life stuff is coming up in these love readings. I mean, not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's like the more that I look at this, the more I'm starting to hear like, this is like a career reading or some stuff. Well, I mean, finances and career are a factor in your love life. It's a confidence issue right now. A little bit of cross-watcher feeling not good enough or that they're not going to be able to provide like a life that they think Sagittarius wants. You know what I'm saying? Or they could even be vice versa. This is all money stuff. Well, I mean, I guess it's supposed to be. That's just very strange. But it's just a need to stop stressing about it and to harness your energy and think about what your goal is that you're trying to work towards, cross-watcher. You know what I'm saying? And not to allow that to, it's like almost like a word thing. Like you're questioning your, our Sagittarius. I don't think Sagittarius really cares about stuff like that per se. But I don't know. It's just like a not feeling good enough. And it's a need to let that go. Because I feel like those of you who are worried about Sagittarius thinking something about you, because I don't know, it's like I'm seeing this almost like if somebody was putting up a ruse. So say like Sagittarius is dating somebody and the person and Sagittarius is like well off money wise, right? Sagittarius is well off money. Oh God, this is turning into a whole nother thing. Sagittarius is well off money wise, right? And you're dating this person who seems to be well off like you too. The truth behind it is the person isn't as well off as you, and it's been overburdening them trying to keep up this charade, right? Because they fear that if you knew that they were broke, like you wouldn't want them. And with Sagittarius, I don't think that's the case at all. But I do feel like, and this is like a separate group from everything I've said before, you're being triggered right now, Sagittarius. Well, it's kind of is about what I was talking about before, about the ex and needing to release them. I feel like this energy is being bought back up right now because you notice something isn't right about this person that you're dealing with. Like, they're doing stuff that's triggering you to think about this person past tense, right? So it's like, I don't know if you guys got cheated on or something in the past, right? But this person's behavior, like them acting a certain type of way, it's making you think about this past person. And y'all are getting kind of anxious and in fear because you're thinking this person is doing what this past person did, but they're not. They're just trying to hide the fact that they're broke. And that's legit what's going on with that. But I'm just trying to get some more little lovey energies up in here. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's my little homeless man card. That's my little charity case card right there. Okay, I'm not talking about your cross watcher. I'm not saying that you're actually a charity case. It's just how I look at it. I look at this as explaining exactly how I feel Sagittarius would feel. You would tell Sagittarius the truth about your situation, and they're going to be like, I don't care. I love you. Like, you've been stressing yourself out like this. Like, I feel like Sagittarius would end up being so nurturing because they would be like, oh my gosh, like, that's what you were doing? Like, you were trying to impress me? Like, why? Like, I don't care. It's like, I care about you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're carrying an unnecessary burden. So, anywho, the thing is here, what I want to say on both ends, like, especially with this 10 of Cups, man, it's like this situation, this looks so good. Like, y'all are, like, really attuned to each other. But I think that's the thing that's scaring Sagittarius is because Sagittarius kind of, like, surrendered to this situation on some stuff. Like, you know, kind of took that chance on love and just completely opened up. But you're freaking out and having regrets because it's like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? And da-da-da-da-da. Because you're thinking about the past situation. But I can assure you this is not that past situation. They, you know, the person you're dealing with, they're just a little broke. You know, they got a little 427 credit score and stuff. But that's no indicator of the quality of a person, dagnabbit, son of a gun, Sagittarius. But I do feel like with you guys, there's legit, I mean, this is a beautiful connection, to be quite honest with you. But Crosswatcher, I can assure you that, yeah, because y'all are holding back emotions like hell right now. Y'all need to, first of all, have a conversation. Because that's part of the problem that I'm seeing here. It's like, the reason why the Crosswatcher person felt the need to do all of this and is doing all of this stuff behind the curtain is because there was a lack of communication, not speaking truth. With Sagittarius, you're kind of freaking out and going back to the past and in this whole state of anxiety, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like this is happening, why does this keep happening to me type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Which is why it needs a little bit of faith and for you to stay optimistic about your love life, because this is not the same situation. But there's a lack of communication. So the whole thing is here with all of these people, like these two cards specifically, it's like the eyes. You know what I'm saying? The female's looking over this way, even though you were like open and submitted and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And then even here, it's just like a disconnect. Finally in this card, which is like your last card, is when there's finally us looking at each other and having a freaking conversation. And then there's some illumination going on here. And then we can actually make moves and make decisions on how it is that we're going to move forward. It removes all of that anxiety and clears the air. And it ends up being something that's, it ends up turning out the way that you want it. You know? Because the emotions are there, the connection is there. But it's just y'all are not being honest with each other and you're both operating out of fear. Okay? So the way that you guys have your positive movement forward is literally having a conversation, being honest with each other, and creating balance in the sense of, which is why I think you guys really should go watch that, the Dope Soul Collective reading, because one of the things I said in there is the importance of knowing, I mean, if you haven't already, is questioning yourself when you're making decisions this year, of asking yourself, what space am I operating out of? Am I operating out of love, or am I operating out of fear? You know what I mean? And anytime you're operating out of fear, that's where you get your 9 of Swords. You know what I'm saying? You get your anxiety, all those old demons and things from past cycles start rising up, and where this optimism of, believing you're in this new cycle and finding this person that you align with, it's like all of those fears come back and put you into bondage. But the key and the lesson is here, which is a cycle that's ending. A most important part of it is that objective view, learning from your experiences, learning to cultivate a trust for spirit, right? Like divine timing, and being able to speak your truth. But I feel like this is kind of like a beginning lesson for like the beginning of the year, like first 2 week kind of deal. And it's like, this is going to be a transformation that's going to kind of wrap up this cycle for you guys to kind of expand on this 10 of Cups. So this is kind of like a last little lesson that you guys carried on from last year into this year. You know what I'm saying? But for my people who broke up with someone last year, I do feel like your energy needs to be cleared, and there needs to be a focus on something more tangible, like your finances and career, because I feel like that's something that's going to make you feel a little bit more grounded and start to build your confidence. And I really feel like a huge part of the beginning of, probably the whole month of January, really, is going to be getting your stability back, and getting your footing, so to speak. And then for you guys, I do feel going forward, I don't necessarily know when per se, but I do feel like as you guys kind of get yourselves together, like, and I'm talking about people who just recently broke up with somebody, I do feel like moving forward, you are going to meet someone, you know what I'm saying? But just like how I said, like, Spirit is preparing this person for you before we ended up going to the whole couple thing, that Spirit's preparing this person for you, and you would more or less be taking a page out of their life by them working on their finances, you guys needing to do the same thing, or your career, going back to school, whatever it is. But it's more or less you re-empowering yourself by going in a direction of the things that you feel are more in alignment with you and what it is that you want to create this year, Sagittarius person. Dang, 37 minutes? Dang. What is happening to my life? Why are these readings so long? So we're going to throw the dice of resonance. 12 zodiac signs, 2 clarifying die, and the ability to ask a yes or no question. So if you want to ask a yes or no question, go ahead and formulate that now. Pause me if you need to. I don't interpret these. I just toss them out. And however it resonates is how it resonates. Damn it. So we have family, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun. So it's either an Aries sun or a Sagittarius sun, like sun sign. And the answer to the question is no. So family, Aries, Sag, Sun, and no. Whatever that means to you, my dear. But Sagittarius, that has been your super freaking long 2019 January love reading. Let me know in the comments what you think. And until I see you again, I love you.